Hey friend, welcome to Leveling Up Talks brought to you by MaxUverse. I'm your host, Susan. I spent the last 20 years in HR business management and personal development, helping people navigate growth, confidence, change, difficult seasons, and the pressure that comes with trying to build a meaningful life. And one thing I realized over the years is this: a lot of people are so focused on where they still want to go that they forget acknowledging everything they already survived. And honestly, that matters more than we give it credit for. This space was created for people who are growing in real life, quietly, intentionally, imperfectly. So if that's you, you're exactly where you belong. What if growth is not just about what you still want to achieve? What if part of growth is learning how to recognize everything you've already become and overcome? Today, I want to talk about something I'm calling the reverse bucket list. Not a list of places you still want to go, not goals you haven't reached yet, but a list of things you survived, habits you broke, mindsets you outgrew, moments that almost broke you but didn't. Because we live in a culture that constantly pushes future milestones, more success, more productivity, more goals. And while ambition is beautiful, I love it, sometimes it creates this feeling that who we are right now is never enough. I want to ground this conversation with a quote: honor the space between no longer and not yet. Nancy Levin. Because that space, that's where a lot of real growth happens. You're not starting from zero, you're starting from experience. And before we go deeper into this conversation, if your mind has been feeling heavy or overloaded, the Boss Buddy Guide is a weekly reset tool I personally use to slow down, refocus, and reconnect with what actually matters. And if you like a simple weekly reset tool I personally use, the free Boss Buddy Guide is in the link in the bio. It's there whenever you're ready. The problem with constantly chasing more. I think one of the quietest forms of exhaustion is constantly feeling like your value lives somewhere in the future. Like you'll feel successful when you launch the thing or you heal the thing or you achieve the thing, become the next version of yourself. But friend, look at everything you already done. Look at what you've carried. Look at what made it through. That deserves acknowledging too. And some of your greatest accomplishments will never show up on a resume. So, what a reverse bucket list looks like. Your reverse bucket list might include leaving environments that drained you, rebuilding after a heartbreak, learning boundaries, breaking cycles, surviving burnout, choosing yourself, starting over, asking for help, becoming softer without becoming weaker, and maybe no one applauded these moments, but they changed you. And honestly, I think we underestimate how much resilience matters. This conversation reminds me a lot of The Mountain Is You by Brianna Weiss, because that book deeply talks about self sabotage, emotional growth, and becoming aware of the patterns we carry. And also Atomic Habits by James Clear. Not because of productivity, but because small changes over time completely reshape who we become. That's also why Lit Loop by MaxUverse exists. Not just to sell books, but to create intentional moments of reflection and growth through reading, learning, and honest conversations like this one. You can explore LitLu at maxuverse.com. Healing is progress. Boundaries are progress. Rest is progress. Starting over is progress. Turning your past into momentum. Here's what I've learned personally. The goal is not to carry your past like some baggage. The goal is to learn how to use it as fuel, not in a toxic, everything happens for a reason kind of way, but in a grounded way that says, I've survived that. I've learned from that. And now I move differently because of it. That changes how you see yourself. Sometimes the proof that you're growing is not what you gained, it's what no longer controls you. And honestly, this mindset has shaped me deeply while writing my own book, because when you start reflecting on your life, you realize how many quiet victories exist inside your own story. Victories no one else saw, but they still mattered. My book releases this summer, and if you like to follow that journey and learn more, you can visit susanriley.co. Here is your glow forward wisdom for this week. You do not need to minimize what it took to become who you are today. The healing matter, the rebuilding matter, and the moments you chose to keep going, that mattered too. Your story is not just made up of goals achieved, it is also made up of storms that you survived. Here's your leveling up challenge for this week. Start your own reverse bucket list. Write down 5 things you overcome, 5 habits you outgrown, or 5 moments that made you stronger. Not to stay stuck in the past, but to finally recognize resilience, because you've probably made it through more than you give yourself credit for. And if this conversation connected with you, come join us inside the MaxUverse Circle on Facebook. These are the kinds of conversations we continue there. These are real growth, real reflection, real people. If this episode resonated with you, like it, subscribe so we can reach more people who need this reminder, and share with someone who has forgotten how far they've already come. And in the comments, I'd like to know, what's one quiet victory you're proud of? I read all your messages. And again, if you like a simple weekly reset tool I personally use, the free Boss Buddy Guide is in the link in my bio. Now go be bold, go be brilliant, go be you, and I'll see you at MaxUverse.com.